Hi all, my name is Johan Sonde and this is Patrick Bryby. Welcome to WorldWarEra's channel. And this is our first episode. You probably wonder how we come up with this ridiculously
good and splendid name, or you don't. But we're going to tell you anyway. WorldWarEra was founded by 4 history buffs, us 2 included. They started selling historical vintage posters online a couple of years ago. And the name of the store? WorldWarEra. So, because of this, we started to sell posters with a war/propaganda/militaria motif or message. Mainly because we're thinking they're looking cool. Or just have a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, I really like the classic propaganda motifs are like really nice because they're so intense and they always have like a message behind them
and always history.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're a geek like me or like Patrick, then you really like those kind of posters. The last years we have broadened our collection and not selling just war posters. Now we're selling more like vintage posters, travel posters, colorized photos, automotives, posters, and vintage ads. So now it's more for the general public that are historical interested.
And not just war propaganda.
If you're curious and want to check out more regarding WorldWarEra's online poster store, you can go into WorldWarEra.com and check it out. Or you can press the link at the end of this video. So, that was a long intro. Now we're going to talk about the more interesting parts. What are we going to discuss on this channel going forward? And what kind of episode can you expect, Patrick?
Well, of course we're going to speak about the posters and the history behind them. But we'll also do episodes about historical events that not necessarily have been on a poster, but is interesting for us and maybe hopefully for you too.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a lot of episodes about historical events that, I mean, we're history buffs, so we generally like to talk about history, not necessarily have to be in a poster, as Patrick said. But we will definitely do maybe some how to restore an old vintage poster to mint condition.
Maybe
that could be something.
Yeah, maybe a time lapse or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And we also have actually a couple of collaborations with colorizers that takes old worn photos, like vintage photos or old history pictures, and they colorize those and make them to mint condition. So we actually have those as well on WorldWarEra. So we can look into that.
Yeah, and if you have more interest in those guys, we will of course put a link in the description.
Yes,
to the Instagram accounts.
Somewhere here.
Yeah.
Some maybe there.
Well, what more can we expect from our channel, Johan?
Going forward, we could definitely not expect us to be here in any ridiculously historical costumes, because that's silly. Like, imagine Patrick in a silly hat or whatever, you know. No, we're not going to do costumes. That's not our thing, actually.
No.
I hate costumes. Retard.
Nope. And last but not least, we want to know, what do you guys want to see? What do you want to hear? What do you want to watch? Please, feel free to comment.
Yeah, put your comments in here if you got an input. Would you like me and Patrick to do on this channel? You know, history, whatever. Just write a comment and we will get on it. Now we're talking a lot about the channel and what we're going to talk about going forward, blah, 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 our history. But let's talk real history instead in today's episode. We're going to talk about a classical World War II propaganda posters from the US. We chosen this poster today because we think it's a really classical one And we think everyone should know about this poster, and it had a lot of impact during the Second World War for the funding of the U.S. Patrick, you can tell us more.
Yeah, and the poster we have chosen is called Seven War Alone, Now All Together.
This poster depicts the classic painting of C.C. Beale. That was a famous artist at that time. He did a lot of vintage ads and such like, but then he also did propaganda posters. He was also more known as Cecil Calvert Beale is his full name, but more known as C.C. Beale.
Please, Johan.
Yeah, we need to see it. And here it is. It's a beautiful poster, actually.
Yeah, I think it's one of the more famous ones. Maybe that if you say propaganda posters, you might think about the very famous We Can Do It. Yeah. But I think this one is pretty much in second place.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's the photo. I mean, this is a painting of a photo. So the photo was from Iwo Jima, the Battle of Iwo Jima.
In 23rd of February 1945.
Yeah.
The very famous flag raising, as Johan said, is from a photography made at that time. And the poster was actually a part of the Seven War Loan drive, which was made in May 1945, basically to bolster bond sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the war in Europe was basically going to an end, and they needed.
Yeah, a couple of days earlier, they produced this poster. The war in Europe ended, so they were a bit worried. The government and they were worried that the bond sales would go down. So then they started the seventh war loan. What? I think I lost my brain here somewhere. I don't know. Campaign.
And I think it made something like, was it
21.6 billion dollars,
which is a lot today, but in 1945 it was.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. It was actually the most successful campaign that they did. They did, was it 9 different?
Yeah, I think it was eight or nine bond drives during World War II, and this was the
most successful one.
Most successful one in 1945.
Epic poster.
Yeah,
Patrick.
And basically, the painting is based on a very, very famous photography made by Joe Rosenthal, which was a pretty famous, if I understand right, reporter during that campaign.
In the Pacific.
Yeah. At Iwo Jima.
Yep. And he took this epic photo of those Marines that raised the flag, that did the flag raising.
The second flag raising to be.
To be.
And if you want to be a bit geeky and see more about this, the flags of our forefathers, I think it's called.
Yeah, the flags of our fathers, a really good
movie about this photo and the full Bond campaign.
Yeah, exactly, and about the battle of Iwo Jima.
All of the men involved in this raising of the flag was from the 5th Marine Division, and the insignia can be seen here.
Beautiful. And it was actually really successful, so that's the reason why we choose the poster, because it's so classic, it's so epic, and made a huge impact on both the Pacific War and the Pacific Campaign and the fundraising, and it's also a beautiful picture. So you can say that's why we choose this picture today, because we think it's made a huge impact to the war, and it's so classic.
Yeah, not only the war, but the home front as well. A very, very patriotistic picture, which made huge impact on the bond sales and huge morale.
Yeah.
Boost.
A really boost. We can post a link here if you want to check out more about this. We have a shout out to someone that has done an awesome documentary about the Pacific.
A better job than we do.
Yeah, exactly. A better job than we do.
We are nerds, not historians.
Exactly. I think actually that was all for today, Patrick.
Yeah, I think that's quite enough for this first episode.
Yeah, too long maybe. Yeah. Maybe we dropped a couple of listeners.
After the first minute or so.
Exactly. You guys talking too much.
Yeah. But please keep watching us, because something good.
Stay tuned, because I think we got something special. A couple of episodes from now, we maybe give away those kind of posters, framed and everything. So stay tuned if we're gonna have a giveaway contest or anything like that. Maybe this poster, maybe some other. You never know. So
And, basically, anywhere you live, we can ship it.
yep.
We haven't had one order yet that we haven't been able to ship. We ship worldwide.
Think
anywhere.
about that one. Yeah. And of course, you will not see us in any ridiculous costumes as normal. And we will always do everything really seriously.
Yeah,
You can take us seriously.
no playing around.
No.
No horse play.
So with that said, a big cheers.
Yeah,
Cheers to you all,
cheers.
and cheers to
Cheers.
Patrick here,
Cheers to you
and
all.
cheers to me, and thanks to us for this
Yeah.
episode, and thanks to you for watching. Cheers. That's good apple juice, actually.
Yeah.
Ja.
Men det har vi bara då.